Welcome to the Masters Bikini and Fit Model Podcast, a show created to spotlight, celebrate, and connect the women who are proving that strong, feminine, elite physiques do not expire with age. I'm your host, Lacy Green, IFBB Pro, and I'm joined by my co-host, Kyla Faye, IFBB Pro. Together, we're here to highlight the stories, experiences, conversations, and community behind the women of Masters Bikini and Fit Model. This podcast is for the women who are still dreaming, still competing, still growing, and still showing up with purpose. Because strong does not expire and dreams do not retire. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Masters Bikini and Fit Model Podcast. I am your host, Lacy Green.
And I am your co-host, Kyla Faye Dickerson. It's so great to be here with you.
You guys don't know this, but it's Friday when we're recording, and today's Freaky Friday for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, it is.
If you guys are listening and not watching on YouTube, you're missing out because Kyla's naked.
Okay, my whole outfit. How the amount of people that have said, "Oh my God, I taught y'all." So I teach group fitness, and I was at Equinox today teaching, and this girl, I came out of my class. She's like, "If I didn't know, I kept looking in there, like, what's happening? What kind of theme class is this? Because that girl's straight up naked." And then my group fitness manager was like, "Hey, whatever gets the people in class."
That's right. Just come naked.
I'm not. My grandma, my cute 93-year-old grandma is obsessed with Fabletics, and she gets me the cutest workout sets from there. So I like to wear them and send pictures and go, "Look what I'm wearing, Graham." So
it makes her happy, I bet. You look so cute. Okay,
Thanks.
So I have a surprise for you.
Oh my gosh, what?
So I told Kyla before we started the podcast that I'm like giggly tonight. And I'm a bit of a prankster. I don't know if I've ever shared that with you guys. I'm a massive prankster. I constantly pull pranks on my husband. And today I was like, I don't feel serious right now. So I have something for you. I have a would you rather question. Do you like to do would you rather questions?
I love would you rather. Let's go.
Okay. Would you rather have to enter every room for the rest of your life with your own dramatic WWE entrance music playing, or have a tiny sports commenter narrate every awkward thing you do out loud, such as, "And there she goes, pretending she didn't just pull a push door, bold strategy."
The first one, because that's like low-key my dream, the WWE like
you just
walk-up
in.
song. Oh my gosh. Like I was obsessed with like the Bella Twins. And
so what's your walk-up song? What would it be?
Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Okay. All right.
I love that song. I do.
All
it's
right.
bold. And
so
I love it.
Here's the fun part of that. Now I'm going to have that song playing in my head the whole time that we're talking
it's
about
such a
this.
good one. I actually got a new song, and this is my friend. Hey, Leanne. She listens to this. She's
okay. Hi, Leanne.
Just went to say hi. Sarah, say hi to Leanne, everyone. She just went to Junior Nats. She did great. She's going to go to Pittsburgh, Gary Udit's national show. So we are rooting for you. But she just posted like a compilation reel of her time at Junior Nats. It was really cute, and she used the song that I'm obsessed with, and I'm going to figure it out, and maybe we'll put it in the show notes, but that might be my new walk-up song, because it was like, I was like, I'm feeling this one.
There's one Eminem's song.
Always good.
He is good. There is one song that kind of sticks with me all the time, and I really actually don't even like this song anymore, but I'll never forget it my whole life, because it was the song that was playing when they announced me as the winner and I got my pro card. Justin Timberlake's what is it? I can't think of the name of it now.
Oh no, you have to remember.
It's Justin Timberlake's. I was just singing it in my head, and now I can't.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of a song.
It's really upbeat. Well, I mean, show.
Because I'm happy. That one?
Not that one, but that's a good one.
That's just it's a good one. Is that just no? That's Pharrell. It's totally not good, Justin. Don't ask me. I don't know.
Justin Timberlake.
What is it?
There's people listening that are they're saying it because they know. They truly know, because it was a very.
It'll come to you. If it comes to you in the middle of this episode that we're recording, you just shout it out. Just shout it out.
But now I got that happy song in my head.
Oh, 'cause I'm happy. Dun, dun,
It's
dun, dun, dun,
catchy.
dun. Who else is in that? Is there another artist in that? Was it Bruno
I
Mars and
don't
Pharrell? Or is
know.
it just Pharrell? I don't know.
I think it's
But
just Pharrell.
that's a happy song.
Huh.
I wish you could remember.
It's
Maybe I
driving me
threw you off.
crazy. Just
Well,
totally
not really
lost it.
threw you off with the happy.
I know, that's in my head now. Speaking of songs, I'm going back to the gym on Monday. This podcast is releasing Tuesday, this episode, so it'll be my second day back in the gym after surgery, but I need
So
a good
excited.
playlist. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'll send you some songs. My friend Michelle is the queen of
Do
playlists.
it.
She did she's like did one for my pro show. I don't know what she labeled it, like for the win or something. And it was all these like empowering songs. And I listened to it as I was hyping myself up, getting ready to go try to get that pro card. And that
Right.
works. You got to have like some walk up music, some really good hitting
Yeah.
stuff.
Ladies, comment in our YouTube or anywhere on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Give us some songs. I need a good playlist. I feel like I've heard all the songs. I need something new.
We need songs. So same. I like I listen to a lot of like if you make reels and if you create content on social media, they give you the trending songs. So that's a good way to find it out. But
it's Can't Stop the Feeling, Justin Timberlake. It just came to me.
Oh, Can't Stop. Yeah. It sounds a lot like the happy song.
It does. It has that
It
little
kind
rhythm.
of does.
That's
a good one.
Interesting.
That's a really good one. I love that one. Okay,
Kyla,
ladies,
what are we
talking
talking about?
So we're talking about what a lot of people love. Well, it's a love-hate, right? It's a love-hate. We're talking about the reverse diet, the post-show, what do you do post-show? The reverse diet, the reverse everything. I would not even just
All
the
of
diet, the reverse out of the show. Some people reverse into a show. We could talk about that too.
Yeah,
because
I've done that before.
I did that.
Yeah,
me too.
I was
I've never been lucky enough until this year to do that.
Girl,
so
you have made it. You have made it when you reverse into a show.
That's exactly how I feel. It is such a blessing. It's such a beautiful thing. But we want to talk about this because it is something that first-time competitors, if you're listening to this, might not realize is one of the hardest things reversing out of a show. It's one of the most, and we're both coaches, so we're never going to tell someone it's not. If not the, I would say the most important thing in competing.
Yeah, it is. And
so
I think a great way to approach this would be first just to share our experience with reversing, because I have a plethora of things that happened. And the good news is each time I did it, it got easier and better. But the first time was the most horrible experience ever for me. And I'm thankful for that now because it taught me a lot and it helped me be a better coach too. But I really struggled. I didn't know what reversing was. I had so that's step one. I didn't have a coach directly tell me this is what's going to happen after the show. That was never mentioned. It was never discussed. I didn't even know what, back then they called it reversing. Now it's, I don't know. Some people call it other things because they say, reversing. It's not a literal reverse. You're not literally going backwards from what you just did. But it is a process of moving towards healthier calories, a healthier body weight, less cardio. And I didn't know it existed. I didn't know a thing about it.
Neither did I. I was the same way. Sharing, I would love to hear your experience because my experience was very similar. And I was working with a male coach at the time and knew nothing about that. So I did, I did. It took me, we'll start with yours and we'll talk to you guys about how it took me a year to get back.
So,
from mine.
So the first show I did, you guys, if you know our story that we told in our very first podcast, I did the NPC Natural Indianapolis, and that was a great experience for me. I won the overall. I won all my classes. It was amazing, right? I go home from that. There was no talk about here's your reverse plan. I don't remember any conversation about what to do next. It was just kind of like, we're going to go home. So I want to kind of back up to the stage because I really struggled with, and I really hope nobody feels any type of way about this. This was my own thing, but I just remember walking backstage and there was this long table of desserts. And I was like, that makes no sense to me.
There always is a long table of desserts.
And I'm like, I just did, because no one talked to me about that either. And I was like, that does not make sense to me. We just spent all this time getting our bodies in shape and not eating that stuff. And now it didn't make sense to me. I didn't know much at the time, but I was just like, I don't think I want to do
Mhm.
that. And so I was doing a great job like that night. I did go, I think I had I don't even remember what I ate. I don't know. But we got home and my husband had went back to the FBI National Academy. He had come home to watch my show and he went back. So I'm by myself the next morning. And while we were gone, right before I left, I made my whole family these it was like a banana brownie with brown butter icing on it. If you guys don't know,
Mm.
I'm a big baker. I love to bake. I don't eat it, but I love to bake. And I made this beautiful banana brown butter thing. And it was in the refrigerator and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to take a bite because I think I can now." Like I wasn't even sure what I was supposed to be eating. And next thing I know, I'm a fork and it's in the fridge door open. I'm eating it with the fork from the dish
Oh, yeah.
like a maniac.
They're like
And I couldn't
knuckles deep.
stop. Yeah, and I couldn't stop. And it was so
Oh.
good. It was cold and it was so good. So when I was done, finally was like getting a grip. I was like, because my stomach started to hurt. And I was like, what am I
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
I blacked out almost. It was almost like I didn't even know what I was doing. And then I was confused because I was like, I don't know. And I could feel my blood sugar rising. It's the first time I'd ever experienced an awareness of, oh, wow, I got all this energy, like a little kid eating pixie sticks. I was high
Yeah.
energy for 30 minutes. But then after that 30 minutes, the crash. I mean,
Yeah.
just crash. And I was just tanked. I wanted to go to bed and go to sleep. And I was so confused about everything I was feeling. I didn't understand what to do. It was very weird. It was a very
Mhm.
weird thought. And I laid on my bedroom floor in the fetal position. You guys, this is the day after I won the overall at my show. Should have been happy, should have been, no, laying in the fetal position on my bedroom
Oh,
floor,
no.
bawling bawling. I did not know what to do. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't know who to call. So I finally called my coach and I was like, what do I do? I don't understand this. And I don't remember the conversation, but I do remember she just said, basically, this is what we do out, it's a reverse and this is what can happen. And I'd already decided I was going to go to nationals 8 months later. And she's like, yeah, we got to be careful what you eat because you're going to go to nationals. And so after that, I cleaned it up. That was the one episode, and I was able to jump back on track. But the problem is, just that one thing I did, of course, initially the sugar and the carbs, all that was inflammatory. I held water for a few days. But after that, I did gain a quick 5 pounds just within like 5 days. I could not get that 5 pounds off.
Easy.
And then from there, even though I started to kind of reverse, my body fat just went up. It was the most body fat I ever gained after a show, and I needed to compete in 8 months at nationals. And I remember the amount of cardio that I had to do to make it to that show. I cried
Brutal.
every day. It was horrible. It was horrid.
Brutal.
And luckily, I did go win my pro card at that show. But let me tell you, it was a battle the whole way. And it could have been so much better if I had been educated beforehand about what is a reverse, why is it important, how do we do it, and then had somebody walk alongside me if I had a issue.
Right.
But
Yeah.
after that, it wasn't as bad. And now I love reversing because my lifestyle changed. What I do after a show is no different than what I do before a show. It's just a little bit more food at a time. I have it under control now, but it took years for me to get there in experience.
Yeah, it does. And you don't really know until you experience
Mhm.
having it go so wrong. And that's like, people, and you might listen to us and you might go, 5 pounds. Like, how is it that, like, you're supposed to be 5 pounds up from stage weight, right? Like, at least some women are 12. Some of their comfortable
Wow.
weight is more than 2, 3 pounds above stage weight. That's different for
Sure.
everyone, depending on your body composition. However, that's not something you want to see right after a show, quickly
Yeah.
after a show. Why, when it doesn't come down, like when it's not just water retention or so, all the things that it can be after a show because you let yourself eat a burger and fries and you got the salt and you're gonna hold a couple pounds on that scale and it's not real, right? It's not fat overnight. However, if it just sticks and that keeps and you keep
Yeah.
repeating those same meals and you go down that rabbit hole, it will be really hard. And that's what happened to me. Is this is a tip I have for everybody. Don't book a vacation days after your show. Don't do it. And I wish someone would have told me that. I had a show less than a week later. I was in Hawaii at an all you can drink, all you can eat. And I just ate and drank whatever I wanted. I don't really drink now. I drank a little bit more back then, socially or on vacation or whatever. But I messed up my metabolism very, very badly. My hormones got all whacked. It was bad. Like, it was weight gain that wouldn't, on my frame. And because, Lacy and I didn't start from a high weight, and go down. But so I'm sure the general public would be like, oh, they look fine, but we know on us what should be there and what shouldn't be there, on your own body. And it was a journey coming out. Like, it was a journey. And I was just like Lacy in the fact that I was up to like 75 minutes of cardio, like week before peak week.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you get to a point like where I was this prep leading into Wasatch, where I was, don't do any cardio, Kyla. Maybe take down the steps to 5,000 a day and eat a burger. Eat a burger again. That's like, and you're already at like, you're at 260 carbs, which is a lot for me on peak week. Like, you're doing something right. And that's a beautiful thing. But I don't think if I wouldn't have gone through that journey, which I had a coach that did not tell me anything about a reverse. I didn't, like Lacy, I had no idea what that term was. And so I went in blind, so you just don't know. You just think, oh, I can just eat the same. And you really can't. Your body has gone through major transformation. It's gone through clean eating and, solid consistency where you've been at. You can't just slash cardio and not do it. You can't just eat whatever you want. You have to slowly reintroduce, the same food you've been eating, just a little bit more. And then you slowly introduce some other foods. Eventually you'll get to, some processed foods and to some more flexibility. But it's really important that we know how to do that. And so it's sad when I see that happen, because I know how that feels. And so does Lacy. And so when I start with my clients, Lacy probably does this too. I was like, okay, here's the non-negotiable. You have to stay with me through a reverse. Like, that has to happen, because that's on me. If I let someone go, I mean, they could leave whenever they wanted, right? There's, all of that, whatever. But, people have free will. They have free will. However, I am very honest about, like, if you go off and just think you can do this on your own, especially I don't even do it on my own. I mean, I did this. This is the first time in, I don't know how many shows I've done, but 6 maybe. It's the first time I've done the reverse on my own. First time.
Yeah.
I've always had a coach. And if I was a new competitor, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it on my own, because that's when you need the hand holding the most, because that's when it's the hardest. That's when you are hungry still, and you are irritable because you want to be able to eat more, and you cannot, because you need to slowly increase your food, and there's no stage that you're getting to. So the mental toll, like, we should talk about that. The mental toll that can take on an athlete is also a lot and needs a lot of support.
Yeah. You lose that stage. I call it the bullseye. When the bullseye is gone, if you don't have like, I always goal set. This is a piece of advice I give my clients. The goal was to get to the show, and it's very easy. And I mean, I shouldn't say it's very easy. It's easier to prepare for a show, because 100% that you're going to have to stand in a bikini that will fit in a Ziploc bag on a stage. So a lot of times that's your barrier, that you're like, I better not eat this thing. But when that's gone, and it's like, well, I don't have a show coming up. Yeah, you can start to negotiate with yourself, and that could be a really, really mentally difficult place to be in. That's a battle that a lot of girls who are new to the sport will lose every time.
Yes,
every time.
It will. And if you don't have that accountability, I just think it's one of the most necessary things to have accountability and a coach for, because you will talk yourself into that, or your friend will, or, the trip will, or whatever. And it's so crazy, because you're like, I'm so disciplined. Like, I got myself to the stage, but because you had your eyes on the prize, that's why that, that's just innately it just happens organically, right? I mean, because you're not going to get on a stage. I mean, if you're serious about competing and go, I didn't dot every I and cross every T, because you want to know you did your best. At the end of the day,
Mhm.
everybody wins, everybody loses, right? Everybody wins. You're going to lose, you're going to win some. You're going to probably lose more than you win, right? So when you stand up there, this is how I feel. I'm sure Lacy's the same because she's very similar to me in this. Like, I want to stand up there no matter what placing I get, and I know I gave it my 110%. I
Yep.
know I didn't miss a beat if I didn't have
Yeah.
to by choice, right?
Because
So that's important.
otherwise, if you don't do that, you have regret, and regret is very painful. And listen, why would you ever put so much time into prepping for a show and not bring your best? You know,
Yeah.
that you already
Yeah.
invested so much time. So when all that's gone, though, it's
You
hard.
come to
It's so
this,
hard. Mhm.
but think about all what you just said. You said, you do all that prep to, come to this show, do really well, feel really well about it. You get this physique that it's so cool to see what your body turns into and can turn into. Some women, I know when I first did, I was like, wow, I didn't even know I could look like this.
Yeah.
But you recomped your body. And so when you take that and you take a 180 turn and just start doing everything opposite and you don't do that reverse, right?
Yeah.
You're taking away all those gains. I mean, you really can. I don't think people realize that, but I mean, the smart ones do, and the ones that don't know just don't know. But you don't want to take away those gains either that you got, and that and ruin your metabolism. Like that, you just built a lot more than a stage ready body, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great point, that there's a lot more going on there than just what you did for the stage. You have the ability to carry on with a very nice physique, even
Yeah.
if you don't get on stage for another year or 2 years, if manage that well. Um, I don't think I've ever met a girl who ever said to me, "I want to gain 30 pounds after my show."
After my show, no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
mean,
don't wanna do
I don't,
that.
and I think everybody's different in this. Some people's comfortable maintenance weight, or if you're going into a build, like Lacey and I both have had pretty a few building stages. My twin brother called me today and asked me like all about protein and blah blah blah. When you're the fitness person in the family, they ask you about it, and he's like, "Okay, is there really something to this like bulking and cutting and maintenance thing?" That was how he answered. I go, "Well, I don't like to call it bulking. I like to call it building." And yes, there is. And when you get to the point, probably most, and I'm only going to speak for myself, of like a pro level, you've probably gone through a couple of those building phases, right? A
Yeah.
couple of those maintenance phases, a couple of those cut phases, and they're necessary. They're not necessary forever.
Right.
I mean, I don't believe for every athlete that a building season. Lacey and I were just talking about this is necessary forever. There's like I have a posing coach who stays fairly lean. Ashley K, the bikini, the goat, right? She stays fairly lean. It depends on your body. So some people are going to be up 12 pounds, and that's comfortably where they sit, where they want to be, where they, maybe they want to build more muscle, because it takes more food, more carbs to build more muscle. When you are in a building phase and you are a woman, you are going to gain.
You have to eat.
You are. Yeah, you have to. So
Yeah.
it's all different, but the reverse is a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I just think it takes just as strong of a mindset as it does waking up at 4 a.m. and doing your cardio for 60 minutes, or
Absolutely.
saying no to that gate, or doing
Yeah.
posing when you're freaking on 90 carbs or something in a depletion phase. It's all like, it is just as important as that. And the mindset and the mental fortitude and discipline it takes is like, I think it's harder. Personally, I think it's harder.
It is. I like to look at reversing as a different form of prep. It's a different goal. I'm prepping so that I can build muscle. I'm prepping to have the best optimal muscle growth, but also I'm pre-prepping for my next prep. I'm preparing
really
my body
like that, Lacy.
for my next prep. That's how I've always looked at it since I figured it out.
I like that.
Let's do it that way. So I'm
thinking about it. I'm downloading it. Okay, I'm downloading it because I'm downloading it. This is like I had like a light bulb moment when you said that. And I'm like, we kind of take it out of the prep, like it's out of prep, like it's not a prep.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's just by language or verbiage, I kind of take it out of, I don't for my clients, but I feel like mentally for me, like subconsciously, it's like not prep, but it absolutely is prep.
Sure.
It's like the end of prep or the beginning of, of what's going to be, because we all know what's built. What we shred down to is what we've been building in the off season. I mean, you can't get that without that. So it all works together.
It's a different prep.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that mind, the way you reframe that. That's kind of a reframe. And I think that helps the mindset towards it when it gets frustrating,
Well,
to think
I
of it
hope
that way.
hopefully that helps some of the girls here, because if you do it well, it's a very enjoyable experience, and you get benefits from it when you get back on stage again.
And we've both been we've both been in a reverse, right. So I competed a couple weeks. Lacy had a surgery. She didn't compete again, which she's spoken about on here. And she gets to work out next week. Yay, she already said that, but we're excited
More
about that.
food, more fun. It's all
More
coming.
food, all the things. But we competed, at Wasatch, and then I decided to compete 2 weeks later because it was out here in San Diego. And head judge Sandy's one of my favorites, and I wanted to get in front of her. So I was like, okay, it's a win-win. I'm going to do it. So we're kind of both, I mean, a reverse, I get asked this a lot. Maybe you do too, Lacy. Like, how long is a reverse?
Yeah.
How long do you get asked that a lot by clients or people that don't understand what it is?
Yeah, I do. And my answer to that is always, we'll find out. You don't really, it's different for everyone, because there's so many variables in that. Like, did you follow your plan? And I mean that both ways. Did you overeat or did you undereat? I've had clients who do undereat because they are a little nervous. And, that's part of the mental part of this, is you saw your body shredded, and now things are getting softer. And that's hard for some, raising my hand, because it's hard for me sometimes. I think all of us struggle whenever things start to get softer. We're like, it's kind of a weird feeling. It's necessary, and it makes you look healthier. I mean, the shreds are fun, but I fully know that when I walk around shredded, people are like, are you sick? Is something wrong?
Do you eat?
Yeah, we don't look
eating?
our best when we're shredded unless we're standing on stage with a tan.
And let's talk about, look, not only do we not maybe look our best, but
we don't feel good.
Feel my best.
No.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so much more fun, or I'm so much more talkative, or I have so much more energy to I don't know, do normal things like that. I don't think any shred can buy that.
No, never.
I really don't. But it is hard. It's hard. Like when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so cut in my shoulders and my abs. Like my abs are the first to just go. They're the last to come in. They're the first to be like, bye. And it's fun to have abs. I just did a post about that. Like, it's more than about six pack, but it's also like fun to have them, but you have to realize that if you don't get back to that normal, that normal place for you, that homeostasis where your brain's functioning correctly, you're able to, be flexible, get to that untracked meal or whatever it is, whatever it is that makes you more normal and enjoyable around regular life and people, family, and friends. Like, that's where really the success comes. And that's
every
what I love
piece
about
of it. Yeah. I mean, every part of your life gets better with that.
It
You know
does.
what one of my favorite things is about gaining my body fat back after a show? You guys are going to love this. Being able to shave my armpits properly. You guys ever get so lean that you can't shave your pits? Like, I get so lean that I'm like, how did I miss this whole section?
I've seen those like memes, like where I'm like, wait, is that like, I don't know. I've never thought of that until like I saw a meme and then you just mentioned it. And I'm like, I never really thought about that. But, but when you get that lean, or you get like, sometimes like I'll get kind of vascular, like in my abs. And that's like, I'm like, what's that all about? And, I don't know. Like, it's
kind
just
of freaky.
It's kind of freaky. You get freaky things. You're like, oh, I got lots of veins in my legs. I don't know how I feel, but you just get like, the skin gets thinner. There's less to cover it because you got no fat.
I always get a little, my face. I don't like my face to be, like, I'm a little leaner now than I really want to be. But I was really careful because I had surgery. I didn't want to, because I'm reversed now, but I don't like the thinner face for me. I like to have a little more,
See, and I love the thin face. Keep it on me.
Keep it forever. On me. Yeah, but you're beautiful no matter.
No, you are beautiful no matter. Listen, girl, look at us girls. You're gorgeous. No, you're gorgeous. Listen, this face, like I do face yoga. Because I went and got Botox today, y'all. You can't see. I don't know. I was so worried, you guys. I look like I got stung by bees. No, I'm not. Lacy's gonna put my picture up that I sent her.
We had a deal though. We had a pact that if she showed up and we could still see her little bee stings that, from her Botox, that I was going to smear all my eye makeup for
And
her.
she would have, because she's a real girl's girl like that. But
I
they
had
were
totally done
bad.
it.
I mean, these are not going to be there. My crow's feet are genetic. They're just, but I got those too. Anyway, I was talking to her about Sculptra, and she's like, well, you don't have she made me feel good. She's like, you don't have a drop there yet. Like, you don't need to, you're good. And I was like, really? I needed that validation, but I'm like, it's the face yoga. Because I do, I'm religious about doing this stuff.
Every morning?
I do it every night. I do it
Okay.
every night. Should do it both, but I do it every night and with all my serums and whatnot. And I got that from Shalene Johnson, in the Turbo Kick. She was on Beachbody for a long time. So she swore by it. She also got a facelift. So, I mean, recently. So that's, helped her.
That's on my list.
That's on my list in the 50s when I'm in the 50s if I need it. I'm not quite. I have a birthday coming up, but we're not that close to 55 yet, and you don't need one. But it's but your face does get mine never gets that prep face is what people call it. If you're not familiar, if you're listening to this, I know some of my friends listen to this that don't compete and are learning a lot. They never intend to compete, but they're learning a lot. But I don't get that deep prep face, like that hollow. I know a lot of people that do. Do you get that?
I don't. Just around my eyes a little bit. My eyes start to hollow in.
Hollow a little bit.
And my neck. But see, I don't think I've ever shared this with our audience. I have a vocal disorder, and it's called muscle tension dysphonia, and my neck starts to get real tight. And sometimes people can see it when it's really bad. It gets really tight. And it makes my neck look really bad, when I get lean, because I'm so lean, and I don't like how my chest gets real. But maybe now that I have my boobs,
well, the boobs help, but I don't like the bony. I get really bony right here.
Yeah,
and I'm a little lean right now too, because might have a shoot coming up. I don't know. There's things coming up, the trips. But birthday, I also like to if I ever have a birthday coming up, I'm like, okay, I gotta be on point. But I was getting microneedling. I don't know if I shared that journey, y'all. I got microneedling for the second time on my face, neck, and chest. And when she was going down this bone, I was like, that was the only time the numbing cream did not work. So there's times when a little extra body fat around that area will really come in handy, is what we're saying.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's just there's pluses and minuses, but the reverse is so necessary, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, I'd like to get in a conversation. We always talk to competitors about this when they come on, and it's wildly important. Anybody's listening that is going to be a new competitor, new masters competitor, just make sure you have a coach that talks about that, and that that's what's coming. You're not done with prep when you're done with
be ready to invest in that. Don't just ghost your coach after the show. Stay with your coach in reverse, okay? Because that really is very important.
Yes,
for your health, it's important. Mental really health, physical health. I mean, it's important.
But also, don't be afraid of the meal that you get after the show. I feel like that starts. I don't know. This might sound mentally but this is the way I do things. When I used to be a marathoner, I'd be like, okay, I can't wait for that caramel venti almond milk latte. That would get me to the finish of whatever 20-mile run I had to run, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm in prep, I'm like, what am I going to eat? I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. I fixate a little bit on food because I'm a foodie. So I'm like, what am I going to eat at the end of the show? And that kind of helps me, honestly, when I not binge. I'm not going to eat 10 hamburgers, but some of my friends have seen me eat quite a bit after a show. But as long as I get what I want and it's something delicious and I feel like this is my celebratory meal, it actually starts me off the next day better into the reverse start. Okay. I don't usually track the next day, but I feel like you and Lacy has a hard time with this because she likes to track everything. So I don't even know if you do this after a show, but no. I think that if you're like me, it helps me because I'm like, oh, I did that. I did the thing. I had the donut. I had the hamburger and the fries. I'm good to start tomorrow. That's how I am.
So
Lacy is not.
You guys are going to die. So here's what I did this last show. I couldn't think. I'm scrambling in my brain. I'm like, what would I have? Because you do have that moment where you're like, I could, but I couldn't think of anything. And so I went back to my room and I had a David protein bar.
I am.
That's what I had.
I am
And
done with
then
this. Are you kidding? David?
and David,
Woo!
it was
David
chocolate
protein
chip
bar.
cookie dough.
You are a sinner. Oh,
It was
that is
ratchet.
dirty. You are a dirty little cheater.
So then what's funny is I think about like what I love the food that I eat. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I just
Yeah.
want a little extra of what I love. So I was like,
I love that.
you guys, so guess what my love was for Wasatch? Maybe some other people are gonna be like, yeah, me too. Or they're gonna like, she's off her rocker. I love mixing ground turkey with cream of rice, putting a little Splenda in it, maybe a little cinnamon,
You've told me
salt,
about this.
and almond butter. It just mix it all up. Oh, it's so
It
good.
sounds
Some
so
blueberries.
disgusting.
Put some blueberries on top of it.
I cannot mix any kind of protein with like a sweet, like a cream of rice. It ain't happening. It's
No.
got to go with like regular
It's
rice.
It's so good. But it really like that's what I wanted. I wanted more of that. And so it's like for
Yeah.
me, the because what it is we want to step over that rigid boundary. And so for
Right.
me, the rigid boundary is the limit of food. Whereas after a show, I'm like, I can have more of that. And then I feel like I did something naughty maybe. And we kind of want that a little bit, right?
Yeah. So that's just a different take on it, right? You're
Yeah.
keeping it clean, but a little bit more of the clean.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, I'm surprised I wanted anything because I got like 4 or 5 refeeds of burgers leading up to my show to Wasatch.
Right. You
So I'm surprised.
satisfy that.
Yeah, I kind of said because I had it a week prior. I'm like, do I really need that? But sure enough, after the show, I got a double, smash burger, and it was delicious.
It was probably wonderful, and you know what? It probably made you look amazing the next day.
I did. I looked because your muscles look fuller the next day because they've got the sodium, they've got the you kind of look a little bit fuller, and even like you've got more muscle on you, which I like that look. I like the look of like my muscles looking a little bigger. I
Me
like
too.
that's.
Girl,
I'm constantly
I know.
trying to grow. I want it to go right here. I want it to go. I got cutting done, sorry, but I want it to go right there.
So I haven't trained in almost 4 weeks, and so all my muscles are flat right now. So I'm like, where'd they go? I feel like I'm in prep because I'm like, where'd all my muscles go? So I'm excited this like pop them out again.
Oh, it's going to, and you're gonna. And if you're new, because I know there's some newer competitors that haven't competed that are listening, and they're going, wait, I didn't know this when I was prepping. What flat like? My coach was like, tell me if you look flat. Tell me if you look. And I was like, what does
that mean?
What is flat? I don't know what to tell you if I look flat. But that's what you look like. And maybe Lacy can probably explain this better than I can, like the flat look and why you need to, because if you don't come into your show lean enough, you can't be filled out. You would need to be ready before peak week. You got to be ready.
So
and then you fill out after.
There's a great way to explain that. You can't fill out muscle until you lose body fat. It won't work. You have to take that body fat down enough to fill out a muscle, or else you're really not filling out anything because you have too much body fat to even make sense of that. I'm sure there's a better way to verbalize that, but essentially that's what it is. You have to be very depleted.
Yeah. And you'll have, like, I worked with my coach when I went pro this last season. Last year, I had 2 or 3 depletion days. Ooh, those were rough.
Those are brutal.
I got in 2 car accidents. Yeah. I mean, this isn't something to laugh
about. So
the
brain isn't working when that happens.
When you go that low into carbs, I was on like 90 carbs for 2 days. And that's just my cognitive skills were not there. And I ran into a guardrail. And then my car was in the shop. And a week later on my mom's birthday, and it happened to be Friday, Freaky Friday the 13th, I was in my husband's high Jeep Wrangler. And I just took off my neighbor's front part of her car.
Oops. So
you really, I tell, because my client's competing in about July 17th, a couple weeks, and her carbs are down, they're, it's relative to everyone. High, low carbs, that's different for everyone, but 120. Okay. So, I mean, she started in the 200s because she just, she's a boss and she was really doing well. And so I didn't really have to lower her carbs like quickly at all. Anyway, but I said to her, I looked straight in the face because this is only her second show. And I was like, listen, you got to eat right before you get in a car. You got to eat before you make decisions. Don't make any big life decisions. Maybe not all when you're that close to the stage. So, that leading into the show, and then the, jumping on stage and then going to the reverse, I feel like that is like a very, very technical time. with like timing of food and how you operate and how, because a lot of us are working. This is like masters women, I'm not saying other women that are younger don't work and have a job, but they're probably running their kids everywhere or, holding a full-time job and having to use, a lot of brain cells to do all of that. And, you've got to be really careful with that. So it will feel good when you get into the reverse and you get more of that because once you get more food, you get more brain cells back.
So would you agree that the very best training session you can have is after a show when you're fed? Because you forget how strong you are and you're like, wait a minute.
That's such a good point.
That's my favorite. That's
you're
my favorite training.
I actually can lift shoulder press more than 8 pounds over my head.
And it really, that'll teach you the value of a good diet because you just saw how you were declining in strength each week in prep. And then after the show, when you're fed, all of a sudden you're like, wow, look how strong I am. And that speaks volumes about food and the importance of nutrition and growing our muscle and giving us energy to train and recover.
Yeah. And it feels so good. It shocks me every time. I don't know if you're like that too, Lacy, but every time I'm like, there it is. There it is. You forget because you don't have that same energy peak week usually leading up to a couple weeks. Some people feel that way 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, you just don't have the same output.
Sure.
So it feels good to have that back. It does. And I'd rather have that than be like, and the food noise gets crazy too. Like all of that, starts to happen in prep. So this is my advice. Just give it time. Like, because you'll get over that hump in the reverse where you're not hungry all the time, where you're not constantly like thinking about your next meal like you are in prep. You will get over that hump, but you have to stick with it. It's just as disciplined. You got to have that same discipline that you did leading up to the stage.
I'm glad you said that. That's a good reminder. You will get over the hump. You will. I mean, if it hurts and it's hard, just remember it's part of the process and it doesn't last very long at all. It doesn't last long at all. Just stay that discipline and then you get into maintenance or you get in a little surplus and you're like, oh, life is good. But I'll tell you what, even though like, man, I've been at 300 carbs before a day and I still want more because you start training so hard and then your body's like, give me food. Yeah. That's tough.
You need it.
And I always kind of look at that and I go, isn't that funny that I can get so low in carbs and survive? But right now I feel like I'm dying at 300 carbs.
I literally think that every prep because I'm up there with the carbs and I'm like, how am I like still wanting more? How am I? Because your body starts to really be this like metabolic burner, right? It's like, don't fear that. That's like a great thing, because you're starting, you're fueling this machine. Your body turns into a machine. Once you get to that point. It's called the 300 carb club. We've all heard of it.
I hope I get there again. We'll see.
You will. You absolutely will. But the reverse is it's just so important. And, if you guys have any tips, anything that we forgot.
We don't know at all. I mean, there's so many experiences out there. I'd love to hear.
Comment on our YouTube and tell us like, hey, what about this? Someone needs to know about this. And, we would love to share because we're all in this just sharing our personal experience, So and personal experience honestly is like the best. It's the best thing. I love to hear what people are going through. It makes you feel not so alone. And the reverse can feel very like, you can almost get this let down. I used to feel that way after running marathons. After I crossed the finish line, I got the medal. I was like, oh, now what? Like you feel kind of sad post-show blues.
That's a real thing. That is a real thing. And I liken it to like you plan a wedding and you plan, everything's about the wedding, and then it happens. You're like, oh, what now?
It's over.
And that's what it's like with a show. It's like, oh, what now? Even if you're competing again, it still has that feeling of like, what now?
It does. Yeah. You kind of are just like stuck with that, but just the other goal, the next goal for you, if it's not the next show, is the reverse. That should be a goal. That should be something you're working towards mastering.
Nail it.
Once you master that and nail that, like it's money because reversing into a show is pretty awesome. So
it is.
I want everybody to be able to do it. Yeah. I want everybody to get to that because I know a lot of people have, if you've competed a lot, you've probably experienced that. And it's pretty dang cool.
Well, and you look better too, I think. I think everybody who can reverse into a show just looks better. We all look better fed. You know, you're not as depleted. And so whether you're bikini or fit model, you're going to look better fed.
you're totally going to look better fed.
So
So
it's a good strategy. What
it
a great
is.
talk. What a super fun talk.
I know. I love talking about it. We have so much fun stuff coming up, y'all.
You
I mean,
guys,
oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know when we're releasing this. It's probably going to be after these people
Tuesday.
come on our show.
Well, this one's going to be on Tuesday. We're releasing this
this one
Tuesday.
is.
So you guys should
Okay.
just know.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
That
So
there's stuff
I didn't want to
coming.
say anything.
No,
but
go
there
ahead.
is there's just some great, I mean, we have some great guests coming that are going to be just the knowledge you're going to receive from some of the, I mean, but like in so many ways with hormone health, with judging. I'm just going to give you a little hints there, little teasers, you know, how to be a stage shot, stuff like that. I mean, we have like so many subjects that you're going to learn so much for that's just going to make you a better athlete, better on stage.
More prepared.
Then that's what this is for. Yeah, more prepared. We want this podcast to help you, you know, be the best you after 40.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys got to know how much we love you because we work very hard to secure these people. And if we're excited about it, you know it's good.
Yeah. We are pretty dang excited about, I'm excited about all of our guests. I mean, there's no one that's better than anyone else. It's just, we've secured some people that are hard to get on schedules. They're hard to get in contact with and communicate with. But we have no problem to keep asking and to see who wants to, you know, be a part of this. And
and you know, that just made me think of something, Kyla. If you guys want to hear from someone, like Kyla said something so smart today. Because I asked somebody and she's like, it never hurts to ask. You know, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. So we're not scared to ask someone. So if there's someone you want to hear from, drop it in the comments on the YouTube. Yeah.
The answer is always no. If you never ask, the answer is always no. So, you know, like you got to do it. I mean, and the girl at Board and Brew where I went to get my sandwich today agreed with me because I was like, hey, do you guys give discounts to Equinox employees? Because I'm an Equinox employee. And I was like, hey, if you never ask, the answer's always no. And she goes, you know what? I subscribe to that. And you asked the right person today because I'm going to give you 10% off.
Nice. Look at that.
And I didn't even tell you that happened. And she said a different phrase. And you guys know I'm horrible because I said amnesia instead of anesthesia. So I don't remember the phrase. But she said a mouth-fed, you know that phrase. There's a phrase about asking, you know, if you don't ask, then the answer is always no. It was similar to that. And we just bantered back and forth. And it was awesome. And that's like what it is. We are not afraid to ask. And we feel like this is, we have all beautiful you listening. You deserve to have the best of the best on here.
You do. You deserve the best.
The best of the best information. And we will get that too. And we will work our hardest to do that. So let us know.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys. What a great talk. Okay, well.
Yeah.
As always, I love you guys.
We love you and we mean it.
We do mean it. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Masters Bikini and Fit Model podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please share it with another athlete. Follow us on Instagram, and remember, your best years are not behind you. They're still being built. We'll see you next time. Until then, we love you and we mean it.